Greetings, welcome back to another video. This time around we are going to be dealing with the encrypted map, so let's just get to it. Here we go, chimps. A little bit of an explanation before we begin this map, because this map has a few gimmicks. First of all, the balloons, they loop around the crypt, so they go around this wall, so naturally that is a line of sight blocker. And there's going to be balloons moving from two lanes at the same time. So you can't be placing anything here. That's just going to hit the first set of balloons, not the other. So they're going to go down here, then into the crypt, and then out again. So naturally, in that case, you want your defense to be in the crypt itself, because that's where you will be able to hit balloons from both sides the easiest. So we're going to be doing that. And as you can see, there are platforms in the crypt that are covered in rock, and each platform represents the category. So green is military, blue is primary, red, pink is magic, and orange is going to be support. So very straightforward. And based on that gimmick, I am going to be using a strategy where I utilize a tier 5 for each category, just to make it, you know, kind of a nod to the gimmick itself. So we're going to be using 4 different towers that are sort of medium in terms of power, but when you have 4 of them, it becomes a rather easy experience. But there's always things to look out for. Already on round 7, we need to actually take some precaution, because Sada alone has been nerfed a little bit, and she does leak a red balloon. So we need to place her on strong so she can get the greens earlier, allowing her to pop every balloon without any issues. But if you don't have her on strong, then she will be leaking, and naturally we want to make sure that does not happen. You can place her back on first after round 7 though. Now we can unlock this magic tile, as the first tower we will be placing down is going to be a magic tower, and that's going to be the wizard. We want the wizard for this round, just to ensure we don't accidentally leak. Place it down here. Can start upgrading to guided magic. We want to have the guided magic, by the way, because that removes the block, or I guess it's one of these two. I think it's guided magic that allows the wizard to see above obstacles. That's going to be massive, because we're going to be getting a lot of range for the wizard. So we want the wizard to be able to shoot above here and have a lot of range. So that's quite important to get this and ignore the middle path. So we're going to go bottom path. The tier 5 wizard we will be getting is going to be the Prince of Darkness, which is really strong, actually. It can hold its own very well, especially here. So we're going to be getting that. So let's just upgrade the wizard a little bit. I guess we could also upgrade it to Arcane Blast very soon. Yeah, so we're going to be getting 4 tier 5s, meaning that we can't be getting tier 5s that are too expensive, because otherwise we have nowhere near enough money. And I think we barely have enough money by the end too, because we need to get 4 tier 5s, and well, that's going to be quite expensive. So we will be getting a wizard, an engineer, the boat, and I believe a boomerang to get all 4 there. So yeah, what I do like about that is that the challenge that you usually get when playing chimps is the save up, right? Because you need to have enough defense that can last a certain amount of time, so you can save up for a strong tower. That's kind of the entire gimmick, really, with chimps, and why harder maps are difficult. Or more difficult, because you don't have the ability, or your defense is not going to be strong enough to save up enough money for a long time to get the strongest of tier 5s, meaning that you're forced to be spending a lot of temporary money, adding to the challenge of saving enough money. But that is not really a big issue here, because our tier 5s are not that expensive, meaning that 30k is usually fairly easy to get. And then we get our first tier 5, and by the time that tier 5 starts to maybe struggle a little bit, we can afford another tier 5. So we're kind of very good in that department, which is of course nifty. Alright, so we're gonna get we don't have to get the shimmer just yet. 25 is a bit scary, actually, so maybe you could wait with Hotshot until after 25, but Sada takes care of the purples, I guess, easily enough, but you never know. So let's get faster, shooting and double shot, and then let's start getting the shimmer and the necromancer to get that. You want to have the hot shot for round 28 and 30 though. We don't have any lead popping power yet, and Saw's ability is going to be quite bad here because we need to cover 2 lanes, not just 1, so it's kind of useless on this map. So we need to make sure that we have hot shot for both 28 and 30, so the boat can hit the leads. Now let's do the shimmer. I almost clicked on Arcane Mastery, which would have been a disaster because we need the we massively need the Prince of Darkness, not only for the damage, but the shimmer ability here, which allows other monkeys to see camo. That is a major reason why this strategy works so well, because we can now see everything, or other towers will be able to pop camo, not just Soda. So that's going to be major against DDTs later on, so you absolutely need to make sure that you get the bottom path there. And yeah, let's get the Necromancer as soon as we can. And that's another reason, by the way, why you want the Arcane Blast, because that gives you way bigger range, allowing you to see over the wall, meaning that you can actually just you could use the shimmer ability already, like, in the very beginning of the map. So the camo property is removed instantly, instead of being removed in the crypt itself. So yeah, I guess I could, no, I've already talked about that. Never mind. I was gonna talk about, like, why this is, why I guess I could still mention it, though, like, why I'm doing some voice on some videos and not on others. It's honestly because of laziness and stuff, and, you know, some videos are so easy, or, yeah, some maps are so simple that I just don't see the reason to, and I also had an accident with my other laptop, meaning that I need to film on my gaming PC, which has some issues on its own. I actually cannot, like... One of the issues I have is that all of the... I only have, like, 2 places where I can insert USB things. So I need one for my mouse and another one for my keyboard, right? And then another one for my mic. But that's 3. I only have 2 spaces free. And that is kind of a problem. So to get away... To get around that, I decided to remove the keyboard so I can use my mouse and then the mic. But that also means that I have to bother with not having a full screen on the game and stuff like that. Just a little bit annoying, but it's fine enough, I guess. But that's also why I've had a long string of videos where I haven't been talking at all. But I don't think that's... like anything people miss anyway, so. But I'm still pointing it out, because why not? Yeah, we are good. I think I'm gonna, we could get the aircraft carrier. That is the safer option. And then get the Prince of Darkness, but we don't have to upgrade anything yet, so we're gonna be seeing how much money we got until we really need to get something more here. So I'm gonna take a bit of a gamble. Okay, 47. Getting some ceramics, and things are getting a little bit tougher. But, okay, we're fine, I guess. Could add the engineer, but I kind of want to get the Prince of Darkness as soon as possible, because that makes everything way easier. You can basically relax the next 30, 40 rounds without doing anything, because it is going to be able to solo all the way until round 80 or something. Which is crazy, but on this map in particular, it works well, as you have all of the balloons mostly focused on this area here around the crypt. But yeah, I've been through some nonsense. What happened is that my son spilled water on my computer, and well, there we go. I had to take it to the repair shop to check for damage, and the keyboard is what got damaged, so I needed to replace the keyboard. And well, as of now, I don't have my laptop back yet, so it is a bit of a bigger hassle to film, but that's not going to be an issue for too long, but for a little bit. Alright, so we've got 24,000. I think we have enough to save up for the Prince of Darkness. 50, like, in this Necromancer is just so good. It's very reliable for the type of balloons that we're popping right now, so we don't have to worry about the BFB yet. I think we get the Prince of Darkness before that, so we are kind of good. As you can see, we easily pop. Round 52, like 2 Moabs there, and we only need 1,000, like 2,000 more. And that's more than enough. Since we haven't yet bothered with the engineer, which I did in my initial test run. Yeah, I do test runs most of the times on these maps just to ensure that the strategy does work, or to sort of kind of do some testing to see, like, yeah, to check if the strategy works, or just to test the type of towers and other things as a way to figure out the strategy that I want to choose. My goal for this series has been to avoid using any guides myself, or to use like any guides on YouTube or any help, as long as I can, to ensure that you know, it is more independent, and I try out strategies that I think could work, and then I tweak them. That's what I do. So, luckily, Ninja Kiwi added the ability to retry in case you lose on chimps, which is extremely helpful. So you don't have to quit out any longer, so I can try out a lot of different things to see how they work and how they fare as we get further into the maps, right? So that's how I do it, but I try as much as I can to use my own brain. And you know, intermediate is kind of tough, or things have gotten a bit tougher. So naturally, I try to be a little bit. I have to make sure that it works. So, yeah, I've been playing a lot of chimps as of late, but I'm having a surprising amount of fun. I honestly did not expect to be enjoying this as much, like as I'm doing. I'm really having a great time making these videos. So, for the few ones that are watching, I hope it's been enjoyable as well. But I reckon that it's going to be more interesting when the maps actually get somewhat challenging, because, well, as you can see, nothing is happening, and this hasn't really been challenging. All we've been doing is to upgrade the thing to Prince of Darkness. Okay, we needed to play Sodom strong, but that was about it. We haven't had any issues at all, and we're not going to be having any either. It is very easy currently. Even though the map technically is tougher, it still is easy, you know what I mean? So, it's gonna be fun when the difficulty starts to spike. And while we had to deal with Bloonarius Prime, I actually haven't made that video yet, but it will be uploaded before this video. I decided to record Balanced and Encrypted first, because those maps are easier. And Bazaar, which is after this one, is actually kind of a semi-tough map. So, that's gonna be great. I have a plan, though, for it, what I want to do, but it's interesting. And after that, I think it is Adora's Temple, which is not very difficult, but it's interesting. I like it. I like that map. That map's fun. This one, I don't mind this one because I think this gimmick is interesting enough, but in general, I think the Halloween maps in this game are terrible. Like, Haunted is one of the worst ones in the game. Carved is just extremely boring. I'm not the greatest fan of Midnight Mansion, but it is actually, it is not a bad map. It is very challenging, though. Definitely one of the harder maps in the game. Yeah, are those all of the Halloween maps? At least those are the ones that I can think of. Dark Castle, or whatever it's called. Dark Dungeons, I guess. That's another one. Dark Dungeons is the hardest map in the game, I think. Some people may disagree, but I think it is even harder than Bloody Puddles, I'm not gonna lie. It is just the gimmick is what makes that map so tough, but we're quite far away from that at the moment. So currently we're at round 75. As you can see, there is nothing that is remotely close to getting through. And even like the aircraft carrier is not even at all necessary. The Prince of Darkness easily takes care of everything. And yeah, we are very much in the groove as of now. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens later. Spoiler alert, it's not gonna be that interesting because it's still gonna be fairly easy. But, and I'm trying to keep the video a little bit exciting, you know. Okay, I guess we can upgrade it to Carrier Flagship now, just to get that out of the way. There's no need for it, but why wouldn't I do it? And next up, I suppose we could go for, doesn't really matter. I'd probably go for the Glaive Lord first. I'll go for the Glaive Lord first. So let's get that next. Place it here. You want to go for the red hot ranks because we need lead popping power for DDT. So let's get that, and then the Moab Glaives and the Glaive Lord afterwards. And as you can see, the price is sort of similar to the others. It is worth noting that the Prince of Darkness is very good against DDTs. Like, it does great damage to DDTs. But it can get overwhelmed. But I think it can handle 95, actually. That's how good it is. It is pretty decent. Here's 81. Like, has this been challenging at all? I don't really think so, but that's also because we have kind of a... I would say this is as close as it gets to a meta for this map, sort of. Like, this is how you're supposed to play it. You're supposed to be using this inside space here for the towers. I mean, what you could do is to use as an ace, but for the earlier rounds, you would still need to play stuff inside of here. And the ace is something you would get later. And you could technically get, like, I could start going for a, like, top half ace if I wanted to, but I think this strategy here is just way easier and very thematic for this map. It's also one of the maps where I haven't been using any jungle drums or an elk yet, but I'll end the video by placing an elk, don't you worry. But as you can see, it's not particularly necessary. We now have the Glaive Lord, which is going to be doing great damage if it gets the chance to attack, that is. It has only 300 pops because we literally do not have any balloons in this part of the map. So there's that. Now let's do the Engineer. You can use the larger service area and then the Sentry Expert. We can actually play some sentries down here, so the Engineer may soon get more pops than the Glaive Lord, because the Glaive Lord hardly pops anything. Okay, 4,000, it's not bad. The Engineer has 3,000, so it's catching up. Yeah, as you can see, these towers here, the Prince of Darkness and the Carrier Flagship are carrying. That is not a huge surprise. Especially the Carrier Flagship is very good. It's very reliable. Like, it does decent damage on all upgrades. So, like, the aircraft carrier does good damage, the destroyer can take down Moabs, and then you have the early boat can take care of the early rounds, you know? Like, it's good against everything, and the Carrier Flagship is going to be able to carry you all the way until, like, round 80. So, yeah, it's a very strong tower. Very strong and good. And as I told you, the money is going to be a little bit tight, because you have 4 tier 5s, so we need to get 34k for this. And I think we get it at like round 98, so it's kind of like at the very, very end. But as you can see, these rounds are just very, very easy. So it's round 92, no problems there. Things are getting a little bit further, but not anything to be particularly worried about. DDTs are not an issue. As you know, the Prince of Darkness takes care of all of those worries that we may have from there. And there's round 94. I think that's gonna net us quite a bit of money. So we'll soon have the Engineer, the Sentry Champion, which is another decent tier 5. Okay. There you go. 94. Let's how we do for around 95. Gonna be exciting. Alright, let's see. You also get a lot of pops from those purples for the Prince of Darkness. Or a lot of graveyard, I should say, like this thing here. But yeah, that was round 95. Not exactly very difficult. Here's 96, and we will be getting the Sentry Champion to make things even easier for us. Not exactly, like, not saying that we needed that, but it's always good to have nonetheless. Sawda has been getting a decent amount of pops too. Oh, actually not, only 4k? What? That's surprising. But I guess it's because of the Prince of Darkness and the Carrier Flagship again, just do most of the damage, and Sawda barely has any time to attack anything. Wow, I've never seen her with that little pops. Crazy. But yeah, here's round 97, round 98 is coming up. Let's see how we fare. Looks good. There you go. That was round 98. And round 99 is easy, of course, because of the PvPs. And here's round 100. So that's also not going to be too much of a challenge, because we still do, like, we do have quite a bit of damage in store. We have the Glaive Lord, and we have the Carrier Flagship. There's decent damage to bads, actually. And combine everything together, it is not going to be too difficult to pop it. Gonna get it around here, I think. There you go. Oh shoot! I actually died there. What the hell? Oh, I get it. It's because I forgot this. Of course. I knew I'd forgotten something, because when I did my other run, it was very easy. So that is a bit of a stupid way to ruin a perfect video, but I just always have like one of those moments where I just mess everything up. Now everything is easy because of this buff is very strong, allowing us to do quite a bit more damage than we would normally do. And ooh, that was a little bit tight. Not gonna lie, but we got it. We got it. Probably would recommend then to place like a you could go for the sub, the rocket. Yeah, first strike. You could go for the first strike to get the bad. That would be the easiest. Alternatively, you just place down a Spike Factory here. Maybe go for Spike Storm, but not just even that. You could just place down a Spike Factory that can pop any leakers, and then you would be good to go there. That was a bit close. A bit close there, but you know, it is what it is. Way to ruin a perfect video, as I said, but better that I make the mistakes than you do. Still, it's a fairly easy map. I think our strategy with 4 tier 5s are pretty much a guaranteed victory for this map. Unless you do what I do and forget about round 100, but you know, it is what it is. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I will be seeing you in the next one, which should be Bazaar, and then we move on to Jor's Temple after that. So yeah, we are really going through these intermediate maps, and we are close to halfway. So stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.